The Sunday school lesson for December 3rd, 2023 is Changing Identity. Ruth chapter 1, verses 6 through 18 and verse 22. Welcome, viewers, and welcome back, subscribers, to my channel, The Backstory. I am Audrey. In addition to knowing what happens before each Sunday school lesson, I will also read the lesson text and offer a brief lesson summary. The backstory takes us to the book of Ruth, chapter 1. The opening scene of Ruth is one heartbreaking tragedy after another. In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land. So a man from Bethlehem in Judah, together with his wife and 2 sons, went to live for a while in the country of Moab. Notice the map on the left. The family. The man's name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to Moab and lived there. Now, Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth. After they had lived there about 10 years, both Mahlon and Chilion also died, and Naomi was left without her 2 sons and her husband. Verse 6. When Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had come to the aid of his people by providing food for them, she and her daughters-in-law prepared to return home from there. Verse 7. With her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living and set out on the road that would take them back to the land of Judah. By the way, if you are enjoying this video thus far, please type in the comment section I subscribe below, and I will get back to you very soon. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to catch all my videos and shorts. Thank you in advance for all that you do to make this channel what it is and what it can eventually become. Verse 8. Then Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Go back, each of you, to your mother's home. May the Lord show you kindness as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me." Verses 9 through 10. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the home of another husband. Then she kissed them goodbye, and they wept aloud, and said to her, "We will go back with you to your people." Verse 11. But Naomi said, "Return home, my daughters. Why would you come with me? Am I going to have any more sons who could become your husbands?" Verses 12 through 13. Return home, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband. Even if I thought there was still hope for me, even if I had a husband tonight and then gave birth to sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you remain unmarried for them? No, my daughters, it is more bitter for me than for you, because the Lord's hand has turned against me. Verses 14 through 15. At this they wept aloud again. Then Orpah kissed her mother-in-law goodbye, but Ruth clung to her. "Look," said Naomi, "your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. Go back with her." Verse 16. But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Verse 17. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me. Verse 18. When Naomi realized that Ruth was determined to go with her, she stopped urging her. Verse 22. So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabite, her daughter in law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. A brief summary. In light of all the devastating tragedies marking her life, it is no wonder that Naomi's thoughts turned toward home, the land of Judah. This yearning was accentuated by the news that came to her, informing her that the famine had ended. While it appears that Ruth and Orpah accompanied Naomi at the start of her journey, possibly just to see her off or get her comfortably started on her travels, at this point Naomi asked them to go back. Naomi pointed out that she could not furnish more sons for them to marry. Further, she expressed her sense that she was out of favor with God. Bitter as she may have been about all the heartbreaking losses her family had suffered, Naomi expressed her appreciation for Orpah's and Ruth's kindness, thanking God and asking his blessings on them. Nonetheless, Naomi felt it would be better for her daughters in law to live in their own country and among their own people. The close and affectionate relationship the three had is evidenced by the tears, kisses, and embraces they shared upon their parting. Orpah did as Naomi requested, and as was normative for a widow in that time and culture, she returned home, where she would likely receive financial support and could possibly remarry among her own people. But Ruth defied the norm. She decided on her own familiar culture, language, and family to go to a foreign land, learn a new language, and face a life of poverty and hard work with Naomi. Ruth's decision to go with Naomi was complete, unqualified, and unwavering. Her beautiful words of commitment in verses 16 and 17, often recited in modern day marriage vows, express the essence of loyalty. Wherever Naomi went or stayed, Ruth would share her lot. Ruth was willing to give up her entire Moabite heritage and identify herself with Naomi's people, the Israelites. And of utmost significance, the God of Israel would be her God. Ruth's pledge was irrevocable. It was not just until Naomi gets settled or if things seem to work out all right. No, this was a lifelong commitment, even stretching beyond the point of death to burial in her new land. Ruth's words emphasize her utter determination and reveal the strength and stability of her character. Naomi and Ruth returned to Bethlehem, where Naomi made a declaration that is critical to the overarching story in the book of Ruth and its eventual joyful conclusion. Naomi renamed herself Mara, which means bitter, rehashing the devastating circumstances she had walked through. Naomi was enveloped by utter desolation and claimed bitterness as her identity. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Join me soon for the next backstory and more. Stay safe. May God bless And please share this video with others.